begun!
Hello, and welcome to the CTB show. Today is August 5th, 2018. The weather is Floridian. The Dow.
I Googled it.
Welcome to the show. My name is Evan the Mayor. That is Brian the Levy.
I think the best part of that is I showed you that I did Google it.
I can't really read it from here.
Don't want anyone to know it.
Oh, is it higher than ever?
No, I feel
24.
it's like 25. It's basically level.
It's the same.
Yeah.
That's C Money McGee. Say hello.
Howdy.
And special guest this week, Paul Gessler. Say hello.
How do you do?
I do quite well. Thank you for asking. Let's listen to a little bit more of this 40s jam.
Have we ever gotten this far?
I don't think we have, but now we did. Top of the show plugs, ladies and gentlemen. I have gone right ahead and accessed the technologies of the internet, and I have created a short link for you.
What, GeoCities?
Yes.
It's an Angel Fire page.
Please sign my guest book. Welcome to my world.
What was our counter?
It's bit.ly/CTB target. That is our target link now. You may navigate to that thingy and get... What's going on?
I forget about that all the time.
You
I buy
shouldn't.
Target stuff all the time.
Here's what you should do. You should type in that link and then bookmark it.
A couple weeks ago, Caitlin did say, I'm ordering stuff from Target. Do we need anything? And I did ask her if she clicked through. And she said yes. When she said it, I knew she was full of shit. But, I mean, I at least asked.
All right. So, citythatbreeds.com/deals for all of our other affiliates. Don't forget bit.ly/citythatbreeds for all your Amazon needs. Also, Warby Parker has offered us a boost to our bounty for their try-at-home program.
So they've obviously never listened to anything I've ever said about them.
Here's how that works. You go to Warby Parker through our link at citythatbreeds.com/deals. And you click on that banner, and then you select a bunch of frames that you think you might like to wear. Or, quite frankly, you don't have to put them on at all. You can just send them directly back. We get like $1 for every time somebody does that stuff. And they have enhanced the boosting and the bounty, if you will.
Should we just have like a regular send us glasses thing going on?
A regular send us glasses thing?
Yeah, like just saying, we got them, send them back, send them, like should that be...
Oh, should we do that?
Yes.
Yes, Caitlin, do that. Try on frames just every week and send them back so that we can get like $1 every single time.
Does the fine print say it has to be a new customer each time?
I don't know.
Because don't you think they'd catch on that
Great
I'm
question.
trying on all of the frames?
Obviously, okay, so we're going to do a 2-part live read, courtesy of Brian.
Okay.
I would like for you to set it up as, hi, please try on these frames, and if you like one of them, send them all back.
Send them all back.
or by one, because we do get a substantial cut.
Hi.
Okay.
What are you doing on Thursday? That tends to be my day off. I'm the City That Breeds Brian Levy, and I know what I'm doing. I'm trying on a whole bunch of Warby Parker frames. Oh.
Flames.
And then I'm just going to send them back. I don't care if I like them. I'm just going to try them on once a week, Thursdays. Warby Parker, for eyes to make us money.
I love it.
I wish people could see my hand motions while I
Yeah,
do
he's
this.
gesticulating. He's doing a thing. At some point when we actually get a grown-up studio to do this, we should really set up like a live feed or something like that.
Yeah. No, Caitlin says no. Caitlin's
Caitlin does not want to be on camera. We'll cover her in a burqa.
No one's interested
Well-
in watching this.
It's not that
That's not true.
It's not that we're going to cover her in a burqa. She's just going to continue to wear the burqa that she always wears.
Oh, yeah.
And now
Little
everyone,
known fact about Caitlin.
everyone for
wears a
now
burqa.
on, see that in their heads.
All right, and the final aspect of the top of the show plugs, of course, everybody please navigate to the CTB Fam Zone Extreme. On on Facebook. We recently hit 140 members. Woohoo!
That being said, the engagement in about like 15 of them is excellent.
It's off the charts.
It's great.
All right, so Paul, today we are here to talk to you about your career and your recent decisions in your career and your past and your future and your present and all that. But before we do that, we're going to do a little thing we call What You Been Up To Lately.
Not the goddamn thing.
You know, I didn't...
It's your turn.
I accidentally didn't follow up on a text I received from friend of the show, Andy Shankman, who suggested that we just play the clip from the Bare Naked Lady song where it just says, well, it's been 1 week, and that's it. Cut it off. Real tight, quick clip.
You know, they're my favorite band, so I'm into it.
Yes. Paul, we'll start with you because I have a lot to say. What have you been up to this past week?
A staycation with my mother and father, yes, and my 3 older brothers back in West Virginia. I played Uncle Paul for a 4-night, 5-day stay.
Wow.
And all of my joints feel like I just played Uncle Paul.
Because you got to throw those kids around?
Yes, all of them.
Real quick, we should probably tell people who Paul is.
Holy shit. We're good at this.
Well, no, I caught it. I mean, so we're getting better.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Paul, you were a reporter for Fox 45.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You...
WBFF.
Not so much that you publicly quit. You publicly did not renew your contract.
Correct.
Out of protest to Sinclair?
I wouldn't go so far as to say protest for Sinclair. There's certainly, if you talk to any of my colleagues, they'll tell you that I had some internal battles with some management, and we can kind of leave it at that in
for
terms
sure.
of the
Second half of the
verbology
show.
of it. But my contract was coming to a close, and I knew there was going to be a time where I was going to have to kind of take a leap and jump out of the airplane a little bit.
Whoa.
And had my parachute and started this production company, and here we are now. So after 11 years now in the TV news industry,
I have a suggestion, and we will explore this on the second half of the show.
Ooh, here we go.
Collaboration.
Before we get to you in a professional sense, let's get to know you as a person. Tell us more about your staycation.
You're an uncle. You stayed with your parents, and where at?
In Shenandoah Junction. When you're from West Virginia, you tell people what county you grew up in. So Jefferson County, West Virginia.
Okay.
Not too far, right on the border there of Maryland and Virginia. So not too far from Frederick. For those in the know of that area, yes. And
the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River, all the John Denver stuff.
Oh, my grandparents had a cabin in a place called The Woods. And it's like this little resort community in the Blue Ridge.
Literally called The Woods?
Oh, capital T, capital W.
Capital T, capital
Okay.
W. And their cabin was called The Cabin. And they had, like that wooden,
Capital T, capital C?
Capital T, capital C. And they had that wooden grained sign that all old people have that says The Cabin. And we would go to the woods in the Blue Ridge, and we would go see Hagerstown Sun games.
You went to the cabin in the woods.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
oh,
great.
like that movie.
Yeah, like that movie, but with less murder.
No, I don't think there were any.
Probably a lot of murder. He's just not there often to know about it.
Yeah, it's all the murders you don't see.
Correct.
Right. Paul, what do you do with your parents on a vacation?
Yeah, did you do any river rafting?
We did that before all the nieces and nephews came.
Oh, adult
when it
rafting.
Very adult rafting with cans.
I say, was it
aluminum
rafting
cans
or
of
was it
alcohol.
tubing?
Let's call it tubing. Yes, it was definitely tubing on the lazy river. Yes. What do I do with my parents on a staycation? Well, it rained all week when we stayed with them. So what happened was we stayed in and played a lot of Uno.
Okay.
Nice.
And my 7-year-old niece Olive is incredibly competitive, yet quite
precocious.
Yes. Anytime she lost, she says instead of throwing a fit like you would expect a 7-year-old, she would say, "May we play again, please?"
I'd like a do-over.
And yes, Olive, we may play again.
She said, "Rack 'em up."
I like that
Right
she
now.
said "may" instead of "can."
Yes,
But
she's very
but a real coldness in her voice, maybe like you'd be afraid not to play again.
Oh yeah, you had to play with Olive again.
Put
She
away
needed
the
to win.
cutlery.
Do you guys have the dealer for Uno, or are you playing old-fashioned Uno?
Old-fashioned Uno, yeah, bourbon,
waterproof,
yeah, all that stuff.
Cards? No, just
the regular Uno set.
they have that
The
dealer
shuffle thing.
Yeah, they got
where it blows out at you.
The make it rain cannon of Uno.
I've seen it. I've seen commercials. I watch a lot of Cartoon Network. It's fun. So your parents they'll sit around, they'll drink with you, like it's cool to hang out.
Yeah. My mom is cool. My dad has mellowed with age somewhat. So
As you do.
yes, as you do.
I don't know. My dad's gotten like intense lately. I mean, I guess.
So he's going the William Shatner route and getting more vibratey with age.
He absolutely. He is bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
He's having a good time.
Oh, cool. So anything else other than the staycation?
Well, I would say this: my dog Cece Pitbull does not like these thunderstorms. in the
Oh
summer.
yeah, you got to get the
Not
thunder shirt.
A fan. I am her thunder shirt.
you drape yourself
I
over
literally am her shirt.
Very
yes.
good.
And this swag I'm leaving here with today might make its way on CC at some
Oh,
point.
sweet. Well, Instagram that. Or
Oh, yes.
tweet it, or I don't know what. Tag us in it.
Do it for the gram. Everything. For
All
the gram.
guests of this show receive free beer and a T-shirt. Sometimes beef jerky. Do you like beef jerky?
Love beef jerky.
Well, I'll give you some on the way out.
Ooh.
Okay, so the other thing that I did this weekend,
You went to Atlanta.
I went to Atlanta for a day. One day. I left Baltimore at 8:30 in the morning, landed in Atlanta at roughly 10:30 in the morning, and then I went straight to downtown Atlanta, and whoo boy!
You like the Gentleman's Gold Club.
Yeah, totally. All the strip clubs. Downtown Atlanta is ghostly. It's different. It reminded me very much of Baltimore. You could see that at one point the area was thriving, and at some point it stopped being thriving. And I went to an aforementioned show at a venue called the Masquerade, which is in an outdoor dead mall. It's a dead mall in the middle. It's a pedestrian dead mall in the middle of downtown, where there's a mothballed arcade.
It's where's that place?
Old Town Mall.
It's Old Town Mall.
It's Old Town Mall with a live music venue.
Okay.
It's crazy. I mean, but this is like right next to CNN headquarters, right? And all this other stuff. So I'm walking around through the downtown area, expecting it to be very bustling and whatnot, noticing that there's about as much trash as in downtown Baltimore, and that none of the restaurants, bars, or retailers are open on weekends. All weekend.
In downtowns, that's really typical.
Of where?
DC,
Any place that isn't Manhattan?
Dallas.
I think so.
Yeah.
All weekend, though?
Maybe.
You can't go to a bar restaurant in the downtown area on a weekend?
Yeah.
New Orleans business district for sure.
That I can see. If this were the financial district, then sure, yes, the only thing that would be open is the Potbelly Sandwich Works or something. But this is like touristy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were in the
Because you're making, I don't know.
Yeah,
I was figuring you were like downtown, like in where the big buildings are, which is all financial and
there is
business.
that, but there's also the Olympic Fountain Park.
Centennial Park.
Yeah, and there's also CNN
Right.
headquarters, the World of Coca-Cola.
They
the Richard
had
Jewell Memorial.
an Olympics.
That's what I like to call
Good
it.
pool. So here's what I know about Atlanta.
Wait. Can you go to a Olympic? Like, is there like an Olympic village you can go to?
But it's all overgrown, like those pictures.
Yeah.
you see on the
Is it
internet.
overgrown, like the ones in like Greece?
Like the Russian
and,
luge?
Yeah,
That would be
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I did not see that, though.
Oh, I love those pictures.
Here's what I know about Atlanta. It's a lot of colleges, and it's August. So right there,
Lame.
you're like that population, not there.
Right.
2, Ludacris always talks about College Park,
Bubba Sparks.
which and Bubba Sparks also talks about College Park, which I assume is a suburb. So right there,
It's technically part of the city, but it is extremely suburby-y.
it's their Hamden.
Ish, but without like cool hipster places.
No, I
No,
thought,
I think it's like cool barbecue places.
That's where I
No,
started.
College Park?
Stayed was in College Park.
Oh, okay.
I stayed at the Terrible Days Inn. Dingy.
Once
Dingy.
upon a time in College Park, where they live life fast and they're scared of dark.
Oh, okay.
there was a little by the name of Chris. Nobody paid him any mind. No one gave a shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's all I know about Atlanta. Right there.
the other weird thing.
I think
mean,
Morehouse
It
is
was
there.
like, okay, so go to this venue, go to this show. It was about as degenerate as I had predicted. The audience is a bunch of. It's a weird cross section of worldviews and beard lengths.
It's ironic misogynists, non-ironic misogynists, and libertarians. That's what I gathered.
and some Proud Boys, and some alt-righters, and some very, very liberal people.
Oh, maybe you shouldn't go to things like this.
Well, you know, I had to see it.
Okay.
And I did. And it was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just very strange and intense. And
it was the Dick Show.
It was the Dick Show. Should be noted that one of the persons on this program, on this show, a man named Asterios Kokonos.
You made friends with him?
No, just talked to him for a couple of seconds.
Okay. I was being nice.
He's a stand-up comic. He has some notoriety, mostly because of a lawsuit that wound up claiming his place of his job.
Yeah.
He's basically jobless. There may be a countersuit. We don't know because the suit was actually dismissed with prejudice, but it didn't matter. His job was like, we don't need this heat. See ya. I did speak to him, though, and I said, and I was thinking to myself that the sort of like comedy scene in Baltimore, as we've spoke about in previous episodes, is a little limited when it comes to like low to mid-level comedians that could fill a room, but a small room, right?
Yeah.
We've got our Comedy Factory or a comedy club or whatever, which is out in the middle of fucking nowhere, which I can't believe.
Towson.
Magoobies?
Oh, right. That's a different place.
Magoobies. But then on the east side, you've got the comedy club, which is in the middle of nothing.
Is that where it moved?
Yeah.
Because Ram's Head was where it used to be.
Ram's Head, the people that were operating it were sick of Ram's Head and like the all-you-can-drink crowd, like screwing up stuff, so they moved, and I have not been there since.
Yeah.
At any rate, I was
used to go a lot.
talking to him, and I was saying, we could probably book you in Baltimore and get at least a decent amount of people in the room, and maybe get you on the podcast. And he just was like, yeah, that's easy because it's easy to get down there, and blah blah blah.
He's a New Yorker.
He's in New York. Should be noted that I also sort of met his girlfriend. Her nickname is Sriracha, and I'm holding in the air right now a little bag of, what do these look like to you, Paul? Closer to the mouth, please.
Illicit drugs?
They are not. They are like vitamin supplements. Yes, but the important thing to note is where these supplements came from. They came from a man named Mike Cernovich.
Okay, then.
If you don't know who Mike Cernovich is, he's the guy that went viral for getting punched in the face because he's a white supremacist. And I was like...
Well, one of them, Richard Spencer, was certainly one of them.
Spencer. Okay, no. Spencer got punched. Cernovich has been punched. But Cernovich is also a white nationalist.
Is it Talking Points? No, it's a different organization.
Yeah, something like that.
Either way, he's a bit
It'd be great to call them down on our heads.
He's a very fine person on both sides.
Exactly.
He's one of the very fine people.
Yeah, he's also most recently the guy that dug up James Gunn's old tweets and got him fired off Guardians. Great person. So I'm basically now going to need to wash my hand after handling this baggie, but I just was like, why are you giving this to me? But I think it's hysterically funny. She was like, that guy's a dick. I don't want this in my purse.
It's an interesting ephemera of the times.
You could, I was holding it in my hand, and I'm like, this is the strangest time in history for me to be existing in this dead mall venue next to this girl who's the girlfriend of the guy who lost his job because of a lawsuit, because of a podcast, and this bag of vitamins for dick pills or whatever from a white nationalist guy who's got a podcast about how rape should be legal.
It's very weird.
Weird.
It's very weird.
Super weird. So now if I'm going to get to my gripey rant part, where after the show we're like, all right, after party, where are we going? We're going to the bar. No, we're not. The bars are basically, they don't exist. There are no bars in downtown Atlanta. There's like one or two.
You went to the wrong part of Atlanta.
Where's Federal Hill, Atlanta?
I don't.
Where's the Hard Rock?
Not
Atlanta?
where we were.
Where's the Hard Rock Atlanta?
Well, there was a Hard Rock Atlanta.
Oh,
I took a picture of it. Did you not see it?
Was it closed?
That's what I'm getting to. So the alcohol supplies were dry, practically nil. And we were getting a ride back to the hotel.
Somebody in Atlanta has to be doing something on the Friday night or the Saturday night that you were in Atlanta.
You would think that next to a music venue there would be a bar.
There were
no bars within like a 4-block radius of this venue that we knew of or anyone could tell us about. So we're going back, and I'm like, hey, Uber driver, can you take us to like a gas station so we can get a 6-pack of something? He says, yes, absolutely. I go into the gas station. The beer container has been chained up, chained with a piece of wood shoved in between the two handles, so you cannot open this beer container. And the sign on the beer container says, no alcohol sales after 11:45.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
What time was it?
It was 12. And I was just like,
just missed it. Well, when can you buy beer at a Royal Farms?
In this area?
Yeah.
I think the one up in Hamden, you can buy it up until 1 or 2 on certain nights, and probably not on Sundays. I'm getting to the idea that like liquor laws are weird as shit, and every state has different ones, and every county within the states have different things, and even Baltimore has like 7 different liquor licenses. And the killer was we stayed in this dingy hotel room directly under the flight path of the airport. So starting at 6 a.m., planes every 3 minutes going overhead.
Oh, it's like my cousin Vinny, except planes, not trains.
Yes, and we get up and we're just sitting there miserable because checkout's at 11. The flight's not until like 2, and we go to the airport. We're sitting at this bar, and I'm about to order some breakfast and a beer. And she says, we cannot sell alcohol before 12:30 p.m. on Sundays in the state of Georgia. And I'm just like,
they can't do that in
the
Manhattan
fuck?
either.
That's stupid.
They can't sell booze in Manhattan before noon?
Before noon.
But it's an airport.
That is
biggest airport in the world, practically.
That
Usually
is
laws
weird.
don't matter in airports.
Yeah.
They're international waters, right?
I should be able to gamble, do a line of coke, human traffic.
I did not know that. You can buy beer in Baltimore at any time of the morning.
I think a lot of those bars do shut down. Like there's no red eye bars.
No,
But
no
yes,
one's...
you could sit there at 6 a.m. while waiting for your plane and have a beer.
I bet you Bloody Bucket is open until at 6 a.m.
It's probably a third shift beer bar.
It definitely is like open 24.
Because I'm always impressed when I walk by them. There are people out there. Like,
Yeah, sure.
it's happening.
Cop bars. Whatever happened to those?
I don't know. Think.
Everyone stopped living in the city,
Yeah.
so they'd go home.
It's true. They all live in Shrewsbury, Pennsylvania now.
Right. Right.
Anyway.
But did you enjoy your trip?
I did.
Would you do it again?
I would go to that show again if it were
Closer?
Closer. We're trying to convince the organizers maybe to do a DC version because I think that would be really... Because, with all the libertarians and whatever that are associated with it, like, the whole taxation is theft, blah, blah, blah. It would be kind of hysterically funny to find a venue that would, A, have them, and B... Because I was thinking to myself, well, how could they possibly do a show in Baltimore? I don't think it can happen. I don't think there's a venue that would have them.
You've been traveling on your own a lot lately.
Twice.
More than I travel alone. How do you find it?
First time was a little weird, but I did meet up with a college friend, and this time, just through the magic of Facebook and the internet, I met a person who was there for the same show, and then a guy from Baltimore met up with us. So, whatever. I mean, I wasn't alone, really.
I love traveling
You're
by
never
myself.
alone. Yeah, well, you do it all the time.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm on my own schedule. Don't have to worry about pleasing anybody else.
Yeah,
Me is who she's talking
it is
about.
liberating. And boy, swiping right on Bumble in that small period of time was great.
How was your Tinder game in another
great.
city?
It was great.
Did you actually meet up with anybody?
No.
Oh, okay. And who cares?
I didn't have time.
Yes, you did.
No.
You had 45 minutes.
No. That's all the time I need, bro.
Yeah. Just
No,
have to
I'm sure most of these people that actually live in Atlanta don't live in downtown Atlanta. You'd have to go like miles north.
Honestly, you're always paying for it
I didn't
somehow.
have time. Didn't have time.
All right.
Maybe if I did a 3-day trip,
Okay.
a sex trip.
Oh my god.
Well, then you'd have to go to the Gentleman's Gold Club. I can't believe you didn't go to the Gentleman's Gold Club.
No, didn't go to Cheetahs. Didn't go to the Gentleman's Gold Club. Didn't go to whatever.
Like Atlanta is famous for its strip clubs.
Yeah, there was another one.
Oh, I also know that about
There was
Atlanta.
another place that a lot of the guys were talking about that's famous for having really old strippers or something like that. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, McDougal's.
No, that's in Pasadena.
I know where it is.
All right, that's enough about Atlanta.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, it was great. Single day trip, fantastic.
Yeah. Normally you don't fly for those, but great. I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah. All right. Whoa. Next topic. Before we get to our break and then we talk about Mr. Paul over here, we had an idea to speak about some of the crazier things that are going on in Ocean City right now. One C Money McGee at one point in her life was a lifeguarda. And making the news lately is the headline that a bunch of lawyers on behalf of the city of Ocean City have said that, and this is an ongoing debate for some reason,
Right.
that women who would want to go topless in the on the beach would be considered, quote, unpalatable.
It's like they don't have a proofreader. somebody to be like, I don't know, guys.
Puerile.
Maybe we should not put that in official
Seems
government.
to be a familiar refrain in
Right.
government these days.
Yeah. It's like
Right.
they're making all the wrong choices. Being like, look, we're Baltimore. Like, what if somebody from the government just said, look, we're Maryland. We're a Puritan state. Like, full on.
We are pretty fucking uptight as a state.
We're legitimately a Puritan state.
Yeah.
Like, what if we just didn't want to have, like, tits hanging out? Like, for the kids and stuff. Like, that's just who we
You
are.
confused them so badly.
This is why we have states. So states can decide this. And this state and this city has decided, don't be topless. I'm sorry if you don't like it. You have to travel to Miami. I'm sorry. What if just, they were just unapologetic about it? And now, keep in mind, I do not agree with this stance. If the 3 or 4 chicks who want to take their top off, just friggin' let them. But what if the state was just unapologetic? Be like, sucks, bro.
Sorry, can't be naked.
Yeah, sucks.
I'd rather them say that than get weird and biblical about it. You know, like, it's unpalatable, it is unseemly.
That's where it gets weird.
Yeah.
When you're like
Nudity is sin.
when you're like no, you guys are gross. No, you can't do that. When you're like, look,
Only
man,
you must, in order to get a topless license, you must go before a panel of judges. You must be deemed topless worthy in order to not.
It must be deemed palatable.
Yes,
Right.
you must be deemed. Your cans must be palatable in order to be displayed in public.
on that panel is Dane Cook, Mystery from the Pickup Artist,
Yes.
and Flavor Flav. Because Flavor Flav is going to fuck up the curve. Like, that's the
true,
thing.
yeah.
You never know who Flav's going to pick.
He'd pick some weird. He'd throw he would be the wild card.
Exactly. But it's just like, just be like, no, we're just not dealing with it. Here's like, we're sorry gender norms are what they are, and we're sorry about all this stuff.
Right.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Wear a bikini. Dudes can go topless. Sucks. Sorry.
And here's the thing: how many men would pass the palatable test?
None of us.
Yeah, there are
Not
some
one.
men that sport some moobs that I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it.
I've got a giant gut and faces tattooed on my chest.
You do.
Nobody wants to see me topless, and I just love taking my
Well,
shirt
if you
off.
put it that way, yeah, I kind of would now.
Well, yeah, fair enough. At
Give
the break,
him enough beer, he'll do it.
at the break, I'll show you my tatties. Like, you know,
Put your
but
shirt back on. please.
I will.
Brian. Brian. Oh, he's fully nude.
Truffle shuffle. But like, yeah, it sucks that that's the rules. I don't know what to do about it. It sucks that there's always gonna be a lawyer who's gonna be like, we shouldn't have naked ladies. Like, sucks.
Yeah, it's weird.
What about like the breastfeeders? Are they allowed to breastfeed on the beach?
No, man, of course they're allowed to breastfeed. Listen,
What if they take their top off to do it?
well, but they all have blankets because first off,
No, they don't all have blankets. and
What if
don't
they
need
lay their
blankets.
baby down on the beach blanket and use their boob like a Bota bag and just like squirt it directly into the baby's mouth?
again,
Was in a
something I'd
plank-
like to
A
see,
plank position.
but also not really how that works.
Well, that's a legally protected act, right? Breastfeeding is
Yes.
federally protected, or is it?
I doubt
I
it's
don't.
federally
I
protected.
don't know.
I don't know,
That's why I was wondering.
because I feel like there's always a TJ Maxx employee getting yelled at for not letting some lady like breastfeed in the middle of the store.
Right.
Like, also, what? But just like,
It's two sides of the coin. It's like, why you got to whip it out in the middle of shoe shopping and like,
No,
it's
no.
natural, bro.
no. I am all for being
Go to the
able to
changing
feed.
room.
No, don't do whatever. Like, here's the thing. I'm all like I said, being a feminist is easy. Do it whatever you want. I'm for it. I am for it. I am not against anything that smarter people than me say.
What do you suppose if you?
I don't know how to fight against it. Is what where
If you were on Spirit Air Flight 557 and the woman directly next to you begins breastfeeding, would that make you distract you a little bit?
I legitimately kill myself because I don't know what to do in the situation. I'm like, fuck, man, you're gonna end up in a goddamn tweet storm, and I am in trouble. Like for
on an
some
airplane.
Yeah.
We were next to a woman who was breastfeeding on the airplane when we were just on the plane,
Thank God I didn't notice.
But wouldn't the guy like
or when I was on the plane.
the sort of the guidance?
You didn't come with me on that
Yeah,
trip.
we've determined you travel alone.
yeah.
Because we did,
well, it pops their ears. It was the smartest thing I was like, oh my gosh, the baby
yeah.
is sucking and it's popping its
Oh,
ear.
instead of chewing gum, you chew a nipple. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh man, we need to have like service nipples.
I thought it was
for all people.
Some wet nurses.
Sir, miss,
Miss, my ears.
So the Ocean City beach rules and regulations says these are prohibited by city ordinance. Consuming alcoholic beverages.
Broken all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Dogs on the beach or boardwalk from May 1st to September 30th.
Broken a good bit.
Yeah. Sleeping on the beach between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m.
But that's
Never
so
broken.
fun.
Well, that's because people die. They
The tide comes in, right?
They
No one
drown.
is
Or they
allowed
get
on
run
the
over by a
beach.
car.
And then Ocean City rookie cop finds them with their hands sticking out of the sand.
Well, okay. No one is allowed on the beach or in the ocean between 12 a.m. and 5 a.m. Using a skim board between 10 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. Bringing glass containers on the beach. Fires or cooking on the beach. Now, these are the ones regulated by the Beach Patrol. So this is what I had to do, along with watching people not get in rip currents and drown. Playing loud music. Can't play loud music. Playing ball, flying kites, or any other...
Playing ball?
Yep. Or flying objects. You can't do that down by the water. You have to move to the back of the beach.
You can still have a catch in the back of the beach.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's just hot. I don't know why you do that. Digging holes
fun
on
to
the
have a
beach that are
catch.
deeper than knee deep due to cave-in
Guilty.
and suffocation risk. Yeah, it's actually they're horrible. And people leave the holes. They don't fill them back in
Oh, I
when they
always do that,
leave.
though.
And then people are walking on the beach and they just fall into these
I
holes.
dig my hole until I
It's
hit the
horrible.
water table, and then I treat it like a pool, and then I fill it back in.
Oh, well, at least you fill it back in.
And here's the other problem: the Beach Patrol will be riding in their jeeps and
Yeah, they'll fall
4-wheelers,
into the hole.
and they'll fall. And they'll break their shit.
Hilarious.
That would be pretty funny.
And then Ocean City rookie cop shows up.
Well, and the best part about Ocean City cops is the biking, the bike cops that
Yeah.
they have. So when I lived in Ocean City, I was 20, which sucked because everyone on Beach Patrol is much older, so I couldn't go to the bars with them because they're really strict. And
So you went to H2O all the time.
Phone
No.
party.
But I would get some of them to buy me alcohol, and then I'd sit by myself in my house. So it was very sad. Yeah, but I was 20, whatever. And
You didn't have any friends?
no, they all went to the
Go-
the bars
H2O?
and
Oh,
stuff.
they were,
Yeah,
in
unless they're
one
having
year.
a house party, I couldn't really partake in anything. Anyway,
Sucks.
so one day I was waiting outside the liquor store, and two bike cops come by, and my friend, we get back in the car and we're turning around the corner, and the bike cops had stopped at a house for senior week and had gotten all of the alcohol out of this house and lined it up along the porch out front, and the kids were all on the sidewalks with their hands in cuffs. And meanwhile, definitely underage and was just at the liquor store, doop-a-doop going by. And you just know that they were riding their bike so they could be oh, loud music. Oh, I wonder if that's a party. It's senior week.
Yeah, that's just how they patrol.
But it just
Probable
seems-
cause.
Right, probable cause. I don't know. It just seems like a stupid waste of tax money is patrolling for that kind of shit. I know there's not a lot that goes on in
Preventing
Ocean City,
teens from getting drunk.
but
Ocean City rookie cop.
not a lot of places even still rent those kids anymore.
Every
Rental thing says not under 25.
we stayed at the Nassau on 60th,
I
61st, something
Yeah,
like
the
that.
Nassau
The
was
hotel
good.
room that you utterly trashed.
No, that's that.
And peed
no,
on the
I was
kitchen
20.
floor?
I was 25.
Oh,
I was
much better.
26.
Was I there? Was that the one I was at?
No, it was 2 years before.
the one where they burned a mattress.
That's the year we set a mattress on fire. We were sleeping on it. It was fine.
You've been banned from the city of Ocean City forever.
No, I've never. No. So what I did to bring beer down for Senior Week is I took a giant duffel bag and I lined the bottom with 230s. But I took all the socks I could find in my house and I put one on every other can so they wouldn't clink together. And I show up to my buddy's place and because my
Sir,
parents,
you have 100 pairs of socks.
Well, no. I took my dad's socks. He was so angry. I had 15 pairs because I was 18. My mom was still buying shit. I had a ton of my own socks, and I lined all my cans and I showed up to my buddy's place. I'm lugging this heavy thing, and his dad's like, "Can I help you with that?" I'm like, "Nah, I got it. Just don't worry about it. I got it," because the thing was so heavy, and we were set for 3 days because I had 60, 70 beers with us. We were
That
awesome.
lasted you how long? About a minute?
Well, I was 18, so I was still gearing up. I was not the man I am today.
How long do you think that would last us today?
60 beers?
60 beers, 2 days. Maybe 3. 3 days. 3 days?
So on a Saturday, you would come over around 2.
Uh-huh.
You would start on 2 30-packs?
I'd be good for. So this
2 I
natural
would say
light.
2 days.
What is this? Natty Ice? What flavor are we talking about?
Let's say we're going Bud Heavies.
Bud
because
Heavies.
you want to make me
The
happy.
3 of us or the 4 of us?
Let's go 4.
I think 4
go
people
4.
makes a difference between 3.
Because I'm good for 11. You know I am.
Yeah, and
Of
I'm
Natty Light or of Natty Bow?
in a 24-hour period.
I don't. Yeah.
I'm good for 4. I'm
Oh,
good,
if there's,
I'm good
if
for
we're-
24.
If we're spreading them out.
In a 24-hour period?
If I'm starting at, well, no, here's the thing. In a 36-hour period, if we're starting at 2 p.m. on Saturday and finishing at 9 p.m. on Sunday, I'm good for 30 beers.
No. No, you're not.
If the purpose,
You're the worst drinker.
if the purpose
of the group, probably. And I don't even really know his drinking
on.
style.
What? What do you mean?
He is a lightweight.
Oh. Well, I'm not.
I'm a marathon runner.
I'm a double
I
weight.
disagree.
I'm a heavyweight.
I might get drunk, but I stay drunk fast. I stay drunk for a long time.
I stay drunk fast.
I stayed drunk a long time.
Good job.
First
No,
line of your obit right there.
right. I think I could do 25 beers in a 36-hour period.
Paul, how do you max out?
Oh, nowadays
Let's say at your peak.
I could have maybe 4 or 5 in a night.
Really?
Yeah. There was a time maybe I could perhaps take care of a 12-pack by myself.
Okay,
I also don't drink beer much anymore.
Oh, yeah? You're more of a vodka.
yeah, it's
Night
straight
train.
Tito's all the time. No, it's bourbon and some wine.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Last Saturday night, I easily had 12 to 14 beers.
Oh, at the brewery thing?
Yep.
Yeah, but we got started at like 5. And
That's
that
what
went
I
till-
said. If we start at 2 p.m. on Saturday and we finish at 9 p.m. on Sunday,
Yes.
I could drink 25 beers.
Yeah, I think it's about accurate. You're talking about like 12 and a half a day.
Yeah.
Over an entire day, and all you're doing is hanging out on the beach. Like,
I'd feel shitty till Thursday.
yes.
But I could do it. I could do it. Oh my God. I'm just thinking
All right,
about
David
like
Crosby.
going to the bathroom and it was just the beer shits for days.
All right, let's.
I'm sorry. It's a problem.
Hey, let's talk about that lady that got impaled by that flying umbrella.
Right. Ocean City in the news.
That was really, really sad.
How have we not like fixed this with technology? You know,
Because people are stupid. I can tell you, I went over and fixed people's umbrellas when I was a beach patrol person and was like, the wind is coming from this direction. You need to change your umbrella.
Ooh.
And they're like, oh, well, yeah, we'll do it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to
Okay,
look back. If I come back and it's like that, like, I'll have to call the police. Like, because you can't write anything as a
I was
beach
going to
patrol
say they don't
person.
give you citation powers.
But like, if that umbrella were to like lift off, part of it could be on you because you are supposed to be regulating that ordinance.
Here's a question. Why haven't we invented an umbrella yet that has some kind of mesh that also blocks the sun that allows the wind to flow through it so you don't get this problem?
I don't know.
Build a better mousetrap, people.
Elon Musk, you listening?
All this bullshit about cars in space, man. Get an umbrella that's not killing people.
safe umbrellas, dude.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yep.
And then the last Ocean City story.
What's that?
They don't want people giving out menus.
Oh yeah.
Oh right, I
illegal.
saw this. Yeah, that's so silly.
You
Did
cannot
you see that
hand
one?
I did not know.
So they don't want people handing out menus for your restaurant anywhere
Because
You
flyering is illegal.
You can't put them on doorsteps. You can't put them inside apartment buildings. You can't put them on cars. You can't put any flyer with your menu on it.
You know, this rule exists in Baltimore City.
Does
and
it?
it is constantly violated. And
It does, but I thought it was just for certain things.
no, flying in the city of Baltimore for anything is illegal, whether it's a menu or for politics or whatever. I don't know what the fine is in Baltimore, but in Ocean City, it's what?
$1,000.
$1,000.
Also, it's great because
That was up to 1,000.
because they levied the employee. I read the article I read. It said 2 employees were served this fine. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. Two, and
you are
it was
personally
up to-
responsible.
It was up to $1,000, and they fined them $1,000, which I thought was kind of a dick move.
Yeah, I'd be
'Cause
like,
up to.
all right,
does
what are
not
you gonna
mean
do?
$1,000.
Punitive.
Yeah.
They couldn't like give it to the bosses. That told
I
the
love it
employees?
when the fine is as such. It's like not that you went around flyering a bunch of apartment buildings. You got to pay $1,000. They'll be like it's $1,000 per flyer,
Oof,
Right.
that would be mean.
up to $100,000, bruh.
But that's one of my favorite parts about going on vacation is the menus to restaurants that I don't know about.
That's your favorite part?
It's one of the things I enjoy about walking into a hotel room. Like, absolutely.
Ooh, they have a pizza place around here.
Wow, pepperoni and sausage?
It's world famous.
Shit. Right. This time it's got to be true.
Well, the last time they said it was world famous, I got burned.
Yeah.
But I am willing to accept this truth this time. I'm in Dewey Beach.
In Savannah, we ordered from some world famous place, and it was actually great. Like the Groovy Mushroom or some shit.
I was just thinking about
The
Elf
Groovy Mushroom.
when he walks into the coffee place,
World's best?
and he's like, "Congratulations!" and they're like, he's like, "You have the world's best cup of coffee." I just love it. It's so
Chock
funny.
full of beans.
Chock full of nuts.
Anyway, Ocean City, get your shit together.
Yeah, get your shit together. And we're about to take a break.
I love Ocean City.
I haven't been.
That's where I'm going for my bachelorette.
Ew.
Yeah, she's one of them.
You're not going to Nashville like every other lady.
Okay, wait. Did you just say "ooh" to Ocean City, but then back it up by making fun of another city?
Yes.
Are you for Ocean City or not?
I'm more for Ocean City than I am for Nashville.
Okay.
Nashville now has a CMT reality show about how Nashville is like a bachelorette crazy person haven. I saw an interview with one of the drag queens that is at one of the clubs that is constantly being invaded by bachelorette parties, and they're like, "We're about to stop serving these people."
Oh, there was this thing on some website out of DC this week about a guy who a gay man who brought he's like, I wanted was at Pitchers,
which
is
the sequel to Catchers, or
well, I think I believe
the sister bar to Catchers.
That's the joke. But he's like, I took my friends to Pitchers and for the bachelorette party, and they said no, and
Right.
he's like, isn't that terrible? And the entire comment section is like, nah, bro,
No, you're the worst.
you can't bring your bachelorette party to gay bars. That is shit is tired.
Right. Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah, that's why I like Ocean City, because Figures is like, "You got a bachelorette? Call ahead. We'll let you skip the line." Like, they're all for it. So I was like, great. Let's
but you're
do
also
it.
going for the wine festival or something.
Yeah, there's a wine festival that weekend.
Right.
And it's my birthday, so I can wear 2 crowns. I can have a sash that says Bachelorette and a crown that says Happy Birthday.
So Evan, you and me, September whatever. Good, great weekend.
Maybe that can be the weekend you put this 30 beer challenge to the test.
Oh shit! Yeah, let's do that.
And then you're going to have to run around the
No, this
the
sounds
circle.
way better than the beer mile. This sounds like something we can get done.
Well, but Brian, your idea of a bachelor party, from what I've gleaned,
No, this isn't the bachelor party. This is just you and me
just
hanging.
you and me hanging
This
out.
is you and me drinking 230s. Yeah.
Wait,
for
at 30
Caitlin's birthday.
each?
Well, we got to find 2 other people, but yeah,
So wait, you're gonna have your bachelorette party in September of this year, and what are you gonna do?
I'm waiting till next year.
Okay.
I wanted it at the beach, so we're getting married in April. It's kind of this is now or never, really, unless I wanted to go off season, which I don't mind. But
It's really jumping the gun, though.
And
I mean,
I have said I'm kind of into New Year's at Secrets.
what for your bachelor party?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Why?
You can't add the holiday into it.
you can't do that.
You
can't double dip.
keep listening to more episodes of the CTB show to
for-
find out how this turns out.
Marriage planning chat. All right, it is now time to take a break, and we are going to celebrate the internet sensation.
Give me the tray.
Sweeping 92 Qs. Time for shout-outs.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Shout-outs.
Shout out.
Anybody else want to say it?
Shout out!
Shout out.
Thank you. This is...
Paul's the best guest to ever do that, by the way.
It's true. This is the part of the show in which you give mad props, a.k.a. shout-outs, to persons, places, and things that are giving us jollies and improving our quality of life. My shout-out this week is to Gus's Famous Fried Chicken in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, yeah, you took a picture.
Took a picture. They fresh fry all that stuff. Like, you got to wait for it, but it's fresh.
Totally worth it, I bet.
It's very good. Very good. A little spicy. Great fried green tomatoes. Perfect amount of cornmeal on them bitches. And, they have like 40-ounce beers for like $5.50
I would go
Crazy.
to Nashville, not for a bachelorette party.
for hot chicken.
But I would go to the place that actually invented hot chicken. There's this whole Eater article about it, how hot chicken got stolen from them.
Yeah.
And, that's the place. But only that place. And
I
go
love the
there
idea
3 times.
of some fried chicken slathered in really, really spicy stuff.
Yeah.
And with pickles.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Brian, do you have any shout-outs?
I have been book heavy lately
Book heavy.
on my shout-outs, and I'd like to continue that.
It's been a week since you gave a shout-out to
Take two.
Two.
The show starring Rachel Bilson and Eddie Cibrian.
I don't know.
Mr. Leanne Rhymes. It's Castle starring Summer Roberts from the OC. It's amazing. Anyway, yeah, that's not the one I'm going to give, but watch that show. It's super good. I recently read the book, and by recently I mean I finished it last night, First Blood. Now, that might sound familiar, because that is the book
Rambo?
that Rambo is based on.
The Rambo book.
It is excellent.
Cool.
It is a tight little thriller. Ooh. I recommend it heavily.
Much like Rambo.
Well, the first Rambo movie is very different from the following Rambo movies.
Oh, yeah.
The first Rambo movie is all about Vietnam, and it's like a real thinker.
And post-traumatic stress and all that stuff.
And the book is even more so. It's honestly being that we are now engaged in the country's longest war, and there's a whole ton of fucking talk about soldiers and PTSD and all that shit. It's really fun to read a book where that's like the topic, but then a whole bunch of fucking people are killed in gross ways. So I really recommend First Blood by David Morrell. Good book.
Very good. Caitlin, any shout-outs?
She thinks I am the weirdest.
I was just trying to rack my brain for a shout-out.
You have 3 seconds.
I was just thinking my phone.
Here's a shout-out Caitlin and I jointly have. Shout-out. So we went to the vet, and they dug, an ear infection out of my cat.
Ew.
It was super disgusting, but I finally got the appeal of Dr. Pimple Popper.
Sure.
So shout out to the vets for really taking care of our cats. We'll see them back in shut-ups.
Yeah. Oh, I now have a shut up ready for you. Oh, I can't wait to hear yours too. You're gonna go before mine.
What's my okay?
Okay.
Paul Gessler, any shout-outs?
Yeah, Matthew's Pizza. Been feeding me a lot lately.
Nice.
So shout out to Matthew's Pizza.
Are you a resident of the Highlandtown zone?
Highlandtown area, yes. Highlandtown City.
Nice. And we've got a bunch of shout-outs from the CTB Fam Zone Extreme.
Oh, yeah, read them. I'll comment on them.
You, Brian, why did you post that in the... From Brian Levy, shout out to Orlando Jones and the otherwise very bad Time Machine.
Oh, yeah. So I was watching The Time Machine the other day, the one from, the 2000s with Guy Pearce. It is a terrible movie.
It is very bad.
But Orlando Jones is really good at it.
Jeremy Irons is in it as the villain, and I think that movie, it was one of the last. What's the director name that's fake that nobody wants to take?
Alan Smithy?
Alan Smithy film, I think.
Oh, I have no idea. I did not
ones.
see that.
If not Hellraiser 4, then I don't know. Anyway, this is not the pop culture episode. We got a lot of two-parter shout-out, shut-up combos, so it's going to sound weird when I read just the shout-out portion. But from Laura F., shout-out to Penzies for replacing the half of the order that UPS kept. You can maybe guess what the shut-up is, too. Jeff Elkins says, shout out to the Dresden Files series. Just started reading it, and I like it. And Tronster Hartley says, shout out to Kiddie Pools. And that has been shout out.
Yeah, boy! Smooth, a brother that's so damn cool.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we will be right back. Oh, hold on.
My turn to rule. Yo, man.
It's now time to play What's the Bumper?
Oh, gosh.
Ooh. Oh, Paul, do you have any clips on the old YouTube? Any interviews any sizzles that
yeah,
we
do you have a
should
sizzle
play?
reel on YouTube?
Maybe. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm a little taken aback by just cutting off John Tesh that quickly.
Oh, well, that's kind of what we do to him.
Okay.
He needs to be knocked down a peg.
You know he's an inspirational speaker now.
Yes, I do.
Do you ever listen to his radio show?
Uh-oh.
No,
It's
I
been
had no idea there was one.
It's been a couple of years, or maybe a year since I've heard some clips. It's amazing. He does two versions. One is just a really good, easy listening version. The other is the same show, but just a little bit tweaked, so they can play it on Christian radio.
Aha.
Delilah does the same kind of thing, where her show is just a straightforward adult listening, and then you just tweak it. A little bit more of that inspirational shit from John Tesh. It's just the goofiest thing. It's John Tesh introing Lady in Red and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
So a lot like this podcast.
Kind of, yeah. Lady in
Exactly.
Red.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Lady in Red should be the bumper. No.
I've never seen you looking as lovely as
sound
you did
effects.
tonight. Great.
That could be the title. I don't know. Paul sound
Lady in
effects.
Red? Oh, Paul sound effects.
Lady in Red, comma, colon, Paul sound effects.
I like it.
Just kidding. All right, we'll be right back.
The line started forming before sunrise.
The last time they had it, the line was around the block 2 or 3 times.
Word of this day would not go unnoticed.
Oversight. I totally forgot about it. I ain't gonna lie. Forgot about it.
Once day breaks,
in Baltimore City, you get a ticket before you even park.
the breaks come for city parkers.
It's kind of cold out here, so I'm kind of thinking, like, is it really worth it?
It's worth it to Paul Highfield.
I've been waiting for it. It's like lottery.
Like the lottery. He says he's saving $900 in late fees.
I didn't think Baltimore would do it. I read that, the last time we did it was 15 years ago.
10 years, actually.
I remember Woodstock, when people camped out 3 days in the rain for a show. I can't camp out 45 minutes for a break on my bill? Of course. It's a no-brainer.
Hey, Mom, look. I'm going live.
Ashley Richardson is going on 2 hours in line.
Been here since, give or take, 9:30.
Talking payment problems.
I'm paying $5 extra to put the money on my card.
The wait in line outweighs the wait in debt.
I really think they should have had more cashiers open, though.
The penalty is $16 a month. And so in the course of a year, that's $196. And over time, it can add up.
Yeah!
Finally, Ashley's time comes.
Gotta dance for you, baby.
She's saving $250.
We're grateful for this opportunity. I don't care who you are.
3 lines, and nearly 3 hours later,
I am done.
Ashley's weight is lifted. In Baltimore,
I am debt-free, y'all.
Paul Gessler,
Debt-free, yeah.
Fox 45 News.
Mila, what do you think about these tariffs? What do you think about reproductive health? Okay, all right. We are back from break. That scintillating interview with Mila, the producer, will be available on our Patreon. All right, we are back, and we are talking to Paul. Paul. Start from the beginning. Tell us your entire life story. Or maybe just the part where you started working in television reporting. How did you get to that point?
Oh, man.
That seems like out of all the jobs in the world, I feel like it's a bit more rare than people really think about it that way. Because you're gonna have to go moving around a lot unless you get lucky
Lots
as hell.
of that, yeah.
Yeah, and you get landed in the area that you were raised in, which I feel like takes a long time of prepping and grunt work and doing the 48th market stations and this and that and the other. Did I nail it on the head?
You nailed it essentially right on the head.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's a good thing about the business a little bit is I have friends all over the country, so we've all grinded together.
Yeah.
We've all been mistreated together.
So where'd you learn the skills of television journalism?
Teachers. Yeah.
I meant like specifically what college?
Yeah. I learned from teachers. Come on, man. I went to Marshall University. Go Herd. Randy Moss just inducted yesterday into the Professional Football Hall of Fame along with
Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis, like, he's more of a preacher anymore than just a normal human being. Like, he couldn't just stay
he was
behind.
never a normal human being.
No, that's true.
And he was always more a preacher.
He was just wildly gesticulating 3 feet away from the podium that had the microphone and sweating profusely.
Say what you will about Ray. He is never not fun to watch.
It's true. Very energetic. Anyway, getting back to you. You went to Marshall. You learned photo. I'm sorry. What is the exact degree?
Broadcast journalism.
Broadcast. Mass communication. Yeah. And then where was your first gig after that?
I was lucky. So my first gig was at the NBC affiliate WSAZ in Huntington, Charleston, West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Learned from some of the best people. I was originally a sports reporter and anchor.
Is that as sweet a gig as I think it is?
It was pretty cool.
What's the power ranking of like?
Great question.
Yeah, gigs on TV reporting, like weatherman. If you're just the weatherman, like, it can be great because it's very easy. But unless you're Rob Roblin and they put you out in the hurricane, I get the sense that he really enjoys doing that.
Rob's great.
Yeah, I think the what's the worst one?
Okay, so I'm going to let Paul answer, but my idea, generally the hierarchy is 11 p.m. anchor, and then it goes down from there, right?
Yeah, I guess I that's the first time I've ever been asked that, and so it's really tough to answer.
We're good.
I'm not sure there is a hierarchy. Certainly there is in pay. So
6 p.m. anchor is good too.
Yeah, 11 and 6 o'clock anchors are usually pretty high.
So you're saying the 5 a.m. people make the most because they have to get up the earliest.
Well, I mean, I guess it all depends, right? Like, because I think news directors and news managers see a tremendous market share or market, I guess you'd call it. They can see gains in morning news. More because a lot of people wake up and they want to know traffic, weather.
That's
not
about
in
it.
that order, but weather. They want to know what the
traffic,
day's gonna be like.
weather. Oh, that's the radio. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think there is an investment in morning news. And weather people do get paid a lot because, let's face it, people don't tune into local news much anymore other than, is it going to rain for my kid's Little League game?
Yeah. You know, I look at my phone to tell me that. I mean, I would love to turn on my boy Lowell on the WBs and just be like, I could just text him directly. Lowell. What's the weather
true.
gonna be like?
So after West Virginia, what was the next step after that?
Fort Myers, Florida. Is this mine?
Yeah, that is yours.
Okay.
Nice.
Fort Myers, a spring break town.
Kind of. I mean, if your last name is Gronkowski, other than that, it's, it's really a retirement and go to Die Town.
Oh, gotcha. What kind of news is? Were you still doing sports down there? Or
I was doing news down there. Yeah.
What kind of news is generated in Fort Myers, Florida?
Somebody parked their car on the sidewalk.
That's exactly it. It's homeowners associations complaining.
Not a lot of drugs?
No.
Really?
Not in Fort Myers, no.
Huh.
I mean, there were like pill mill busts and stuff like that, grow houses,
Ooh,
things
sensation.
like that, but not like drug trafficking or anything like that.
Huh.
And then after Fort Myers,
little town, Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
Oh.
A city that has traditionally breeded.
yes. So that brings us to here. You worked for
Wait,
Fox.
how long ago was that?
6 years.
Woo.
6+ years. Yep.
And not too far from where you grew up, right? I mean, you were
Not too far at all. Yeah, my mom was very happy. An hour and a half from home.
Is the 3-year contract the standard? I mean, like, do some of the ballers get longer deals if they want them?
You know what? I don't really. I mean, I've only worked on essentially 2-year contracts.
Oh, okay, 2-year contracts.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe there was a 3-year mixed in there at some point, but I've only ever worked on 2 years.
Did Fox 45 ever put in commercials about how you were coming to their station, like Kai Jackson?
Hi, Kai.
Hi, Paul.
I love that. I'm a big Kai Jackson fan.
That was great promo. And
yeah.
Kai is amazing. Kai's great.
Yeah.
He's a nice
real cool.
man.
Super nice.
When I did radio, I was obsessed with local television. I was
still to this day.
I mean, I don't have as much time sitting in a radio studio watching the TV like I did. I don't need to watch the news like I did.
Brian's obsession with Ava Marie, not healthy.
Legendary.
Oh, that's how you put it.
Well, sure.
That's what the tattoo was on the chest. Yeah.
Yes.
You covered it up. Yeah.
It's Ava Marie and Donna Hamilton.
God, she'd be. Honestly, I would hear from a lawyer if that happened. Yeah, I love local TV. Kai's great. So I feel like these are my TV friends. So I don't like to say too many bad things about them.
Well, Kai was on Jay-Z for the longest time, right? Or what other station was he on?
Yeah.
I think it's just in this market, Jay-Z and BFF. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I really liked those promos they were doing for that black guy and that white girl.
Oh,
For
on
that
Channel
morning
2.
thing.
Mallory and
Skylar.
Yeah.
Skylar.
That's the name of the show. Is that black guy and that white girl?
Yeah. No, but honestly, that's
Wake up to that black guy and that white girl. Weekdays at 5 a.m.
it's actually your Sunday night news.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You are good. That's very inside baseball.
No, well, but also we love that. Like every time that commercial, like, honey, they're on TV. They're telling me to watch them. Like I don't watch that channel except for The Bachelor, but they're telling me to watch them. No, I mean you don't have to comment, but MAR is lesser.
There are some really good people who work.
Some great people. We had friends there.
Yeah, we
but
did.
Like
Multiple.
I mean,
We got to sit on the legendary Richard Shares set.
I told Josie, I'm like, oh, you guys are not BAL. It's great. So
Does WBAL have the Cube?
no, that's Channel
No,
13.
that's Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Oh, that's WJZ.
As former guest George Solis told us, it has been retired.
The Cube?
Cube's gone.
No.
See ya, Cube.
I bet you if you looked at ratings, which I don't do. Paul, did you ever look at the ratings?
Never
so,
cared.
But I bet you it's 11, 45, 13, 2. I bet you that's the breakdown.
Sounds about right.
So I mean, those are the best. Those are like my favorite. You guys.
That's how you rank them.
That's how
Noted.
That's how I
Noted.
rate them. In my heart.
So recently, your contract came up, and you tweeted to much virility.
Virility?
Well, because it went viral for the most part.
Virility.
That you were not going to re-up your contract for whatever reason. You said at the top of the show, a multitude of reasons. But let's talk about Sinclair Broadcasting. Let's talk about broadcasting in general.
Well, here's the tweet from June 3rd, 2018. Today is my last day with WBFF/Fox 45. I've decided not to renew my contract with Sinclair. I love my incredibly hardworking, talented colleagues and hope to continue to tell stories in this city I call home. So, let's get to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to
That's the past. Now's the present.
Right.
And we'll get to the future.
And it's not like you would damn the people that you worked with, because that's just not how.
I hate you all.
Because
never the people I work with.
Never, because they're employees. The corporate culture of a place does not come down to the anchors and the cameramen and the copy editors and those people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what it is. That being said, Sinclair Broadcasting has very recently been painted with a certain brush. And
not just recently.
No, for the last few years.
Yeah.
There was the John Oliver segment. There's been a lot of talk about their forced opinion pieces. The must runs.
Must runs. Mm-hmm.
I mean, where do you stand on that kind of journalism? How do you feel?
Well, it's not journalism.
It's not.
No.
Okay.
This is where I tried to bring my voice in internally a little bit to try to be the change I wanted to see within the company, and I think there was a lot of criticism of Sinclair. I think that was unfair, but I also think a lot of criticism of Sinclair came from the right place and was incredibly fair.
Yeah,
and I think and there was certainly some management that I think needs to look in the mirror a little bit and not just deflect it as this is all of this criticism is unfair, and kind of ask themselves, why are we getting criticized like this? Let's look inwardly a little bit.
Sinclair is located headquartered locally. They are a Baltimore company.
That's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. That, I'm not going to call it a hostile takeover, but the buying up of all the local affiliates in America is based out of Maryland.
And WBFF was the original the baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mothership.
So without being too specific, where do your politics lie? Are you conservative? Or do you consider, are you don't have to tell me your party affiliation, but I mean, are you a liberal? How do you feel about, are you a never Trumper? What are you?
I am a pro free press.
Sure.
First, and I think a lot of people think that's an anti-Trump and anti-Republican statement, and I guess you know what, label me as such if that's the case.
But
that's kind of the world we live in now.
It doesn't
right?
have to be.
Right, exactly. I've been unaffiliated for a long time politically, and in this city where I live, you kind of have to be a Democrat registered for your voice to matter.
Do.
Yep.
So for the past few years, I've been a Democrat for that reason, so I can vote in city elections. I tell my students when I teach at University of Maryland for some adjunct work, I tell my students that if you were to guess my political beliefs, you would be wrong. Because I put that out there first thing when I teach, just so when I show examples one way or the other, they don't draw their own conclusions as to what their teacher or what their instructor.
You want to plant that seed of doubt so they don't have to focus on it too much.
Exactly.
But that's what makes an effective teacher. It's I don't know your position on it, but you are showing both sides.
Correct.
And journalists too, I hope.
Right.
So there is no way to talk about the state of journalism, your statement, without talking about the president. You know, recently he had some rally where he was saying, that's your enemy.
Right.
How do you?
No. That's your enemy.
Right.
I'm pointing at Trump.
Well, no, but he doesn't have to be. So, what is the attitude in a newsroom these days, especially at a place like Sinclair, which is theoretically a Trump booster? I mean, I'm not telling you to name names, but like, what are people saying in the newsroom? How do people feel about it? How do people feel about having to run a Boris Epstein piece? How do people,
I was about to.
Well,
mention
they don't
Boris.
like it. They don't like it.
No.
And there is a firewall between. There is a lot of rationality within a newsroom of people who are in it for the right reasons and want to get to the truth of things and just want to put their head down, do work, report the news, the way they were brought up, and their beliefs to their core. And then there is the other side of that firewall where it's a raging fire that is telling producers you've got to run this in your shows and find room for it.
And especially since corporate is 20 minutes away, you guys gotta.
Yeah. They're watching you with closed caption television and sets on the thing. So that Boris guy. Who the hell is that Boris guy? I don't know who he is. Who is Boris Epstein?
Never met him. Don't care to.
Every time I see one, so what I like to do is I'll go to the bar and watch a little Family Feud on the old Fox, and the opinion.
You and my wife both.
The opinions with Boris comes up, and I'm like, this guy is like a mush mouth. Like he talks like this, and he doesn't really talk like well spoken that much, but he really likes the Trump, and he thinks he's a stand up guy.
He was the first guy fired. That's exactly who he is. He had a spot in the Trump administration, and he was the first guy fired.
So his pro-Trump opinion pieces that are paid advertisements are essentially him trying to brown nose the president?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Here's what I can't stand, and then I'll let you go. Sorry.
No.
When I see Jennifer Gilbert get up there and she's like, all right, Fox 45 Twitter poll of the day, or whatever. Do you think universal health care is a right? Yes or no? And it's just like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
we know what you're doing here.
Thank you for being an informed viewer.
Yeah, and actually, like I'll ask this question: how has Facebook? How is the idea that if I got to kill 20 minutes at work, I'm going to go check out a news story on it and just scroll down those comments. What do people in the newsroom say about those comments? Do I know the mantra is don't read the comments. Someone's got to be reading those comments because the captions for the stories are meant to gin up the exact kind of comments no one wants to read. How does a newsroom deal with that kind of reporting, or the idea that you have to do that kind of reporting?
Where you have to read social media comments?
Well, no. First off, like don't read, but the kind of reporting that leads to social media. It's
essentially a visual and verbal clickbait, right?
Yeah,
so
sure.
You're
clickbait.
Just like saying the most sort of like baseline, non-nuanced. For instance, that Twitter poll, do you think universal health care is a right? Or something like that. You're not even really covering issues. You're just spinning it a certain way in order to generate
cast
social
doubt
media.
And gin up, like you said.
And gin up attention, the comment threads, the essentially copy-pasting rhetoric into Facebook, which accomplishes very little other than getting the Fox 45 Facebook page more likes on Facebook, which somehow translates to dollars. More ads sold.
And Fox 45 is not exclusively guilty for this.
Of course not.
No, they're all pretty bad at it. I mean, yeah, they'll we've been making this joke for years, like the WBAL dirtiest bathrooms. Jane Miller investigates dirty bathrooms of the restaurants, and they'll post that list on Facebook and a million comments. Well, I'm never eating there again. I'm never eating. 1-star Yelp review. Great, you got a whole bunch of terrible attention. Good job.
And I don't want to, but that's. What's the difference between the political clickbait that we're getting these days from news stories and Sweeps Week? Like, how does that feel? Like, are you directed to do stuff
Every
like
week
that?
is Sweeps Week now.
Yeah.
I will say that's a very broad question.
Sure.
Clearly,
I know we're trying to fill time,
and yeah, boy, we do need to fill time. I would say this, that when you're in sweeps,
right?
Because then you start doing the same damn stories that you've done every year. Like in November, I can guarantee you there will be 4 ways to save money Christmas shopping.
Pain at the pump.
Yeah, pain at the pump. They love to do, but specifically, like this is one of my big things about TV news in general is it is so damn predictable now. Each time of the year, you're going to get the same damn stories about the same damn things, telling you the same damn results.
Hold your language, sir.
And we're going away from telling people stories because Baltimore, in particular, is full of really good people stories. And I've pitched many, and they're all, oftentimes they're turned down because it doesn't fit the demo or doesn't hit the right points to get people excited.
You mentioned your pitches. What was your process when you were working there? How did you find your stories? How did you go about, getting the information? Yeah. What was your process?
My process was finding people to tell stories around. Oftentimes, I was given stories around sweeps that had very general themes, and if it didn't have a character in it, managers don't necessarily care. Just get the story done. And one of those is the 7 ways to save money on Black Friday. Like, okay, this isn't a story about anybody.
Number 1, Amazon.com.
Exactly.
Yeah. Click through the banner on CTB.com/deals.
And it's not to downplay those stories because you meet people doing those stories who are experts in their field, who are well-intentioned, who have great advice to give people. But it's like, the content is the same freaking content year in, year out. So what my process was finding stories that had characters to drive them. And oftentimes I do those stories on my own time.
Oh.
And those were always the stories that would get awards or would get good web traffic.
The station would send you one place and you would say on your own, like, but can I borrow Phil for a couple hours because I'm going to go take him out here on my own.
And Phil oftentimes was me. Sometimes I was an MMJ, multimedia journalist, so I would have to shoot my own stories. Now WBFF, whether you know it or not, one of the best photojournalism shops in the country.
Cool.
Really great photojournalist. So I would fight to steal a photojournalist every now and then. But yeah, sometimes you just have to pick up a camera and go do a story. And that's what I tell my students who are in market bumfuck nowhere and having issues with their management saying they're not letting me do the stories I want. Well,
do it yourself.
Yeah, do it yourself.
I think so. I mean, personally, that was probably my biggest problem in radio is that I didn't understand that if I wanted to, I was doing all the work given to me. And then because I was at 3 or 4 different stations. It's different than in TV. I wasn't doing the extra work that I wanted to do that probably would have. I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the energy to get there. So that's really interesting. What is your favorite story that you did in town?
Ooh,
Brian's favorite question.
I love asking this question.
My favorite story. I mean, I guess I've got stories that I look back on. I was proud to tell, and then there are the stories that are just crazy. I guess. I did a couple stories here in the last couple years. One was on these 2 women who had breast cancer together, were getting their breast cancer treated at St. Joseph's, and both of them realized they had a single son and a single daughter.
Whoa!
And then they hooked them up on a blind date, and then they got engaged, and then they got married. And so we told that story, and we interviewed them before the wedding, and went. That was another story we did on our own time. And then we went to the wedding and told this story about how both mothers were alive for the wedding and in remission, and they were incredibly powerful women. And a friend of mine, photojournalist Ben Worsley, his mother had breast cancer, so I know the story meant a lot to him.
Cool.
And that's part of the reason why I recruited him to tell the story with me, because I knew he really had a stake in it and cared about it.
And there's a lot of minutes to fill in October, so
there are. Yeah, and that story I think aired on the last day of October, which obviously Breast Cancer Awareness Month, because I think they got married, if I'm not mistaken, in late September. I think their wedding anniversary is coming up, 2-year wedding anniversary is coming up soon. And then one of our last stories that my friend and ex-colleague, current colleague-ish, Jed Gamber and I told, where we followed around the photographer Amy Berbert for a year as she went to homicide scenes a year to the minute after, and took pictures of the 350-some plus 2016 homicides 1 year to the minute after they were killed. And that was a project we went on many shoots with her, and those were the stories that we weren't really getting a lot of. We had to go do on our own time. And granted, I don't want to misspeak or lie. We were given a little bit of time on the clock to do that, but majority of those shoots we did on our own time.
So here's a question: Baltimore has been brought up a lot as a shithole city. by the president.
Sure.
Going to these places a year after these murders, I mean, you see that it's not that, right? I mean, you see that this is it's a city that's hurting.
Mm-hmm.
What do you learn from visiting different areas, places that you're not necessarily going to go to on your own? How do you feel that Baltimore is maybe misrepresented because it's not always The Wire? How do you feel Baltimore might be misrepresented?
Yeah, I mean, Baltimore clearly is misrepresented in national media and pop culture, but at the same time, those are often a mirror of the real life conditions that the city's been going through, not just recently too, for generations, right? So I'm struck by when we go to those areas how much people want their stories told, right? Like how, because I think it'd be easy to just see a camera and tell us to fuck off.
Right.
And sometimes they do.
And sometimes they do, and that's fine. And I never pushed when I was, and that was in 11 years, I always took no for an answer. I never pushed, and I'm very proud. I worked with some really good colleagues who were well-intentioned, but they didn't take no for an answer, and I think sometimes they would make people feel uncomfortable if they said no.
You mean to tell me that the one time that the crooked dentist was doing bad stuff, you weren't following him down through the parking lot? Excuse me, sir, doctor.
Yeah, that's a different kind of not taking a no, I guess. But but if someone didn't want their story, that they.
If the man on the street doesn't want to be the man on the street, let him.
Or person on the street.
Right.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. But yeah, there were crooked dentists in my time. Evan. Come on. And you'd have to go after them.
They must be stopped.
No, I had some run-ins with local politicians here for sure.
In Baltimore?
Yeah, who were not happy. Who were not happy about follow-ups.
Me deeply.
I was going to say, well, then excuse my follow-up. Who are the people in town that were hardest to deal with? What kind of stories were those?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't say Stephanie Rawlings Blake was hard to deal with. I think I think because I honestly, like, from my perspective,
don't call me Stephanie.
Well, there you go, Madam Mayor.
Yes,
and she earned that title. I have a lot of respect for her because I think she's incredibly sharp, and I think she has a really bright future in whatever role she chooses. And politically, you could certainly make an argument that maybe her political career might be.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. First of all, her Instagram, white hot, excellent. Number 2, I agree. She does actually have a good future as a politician, but she is not a good mayor.
Maybe not even as a politician, but in government in some form or fashion.
Capacity, because she's
very capable.
She's certainly very intelligent and very good at like being a bureaucrat, but not a woman of the people. Like the mayor of Baltimore needs to be a charismatic, sort of I'm out on the streets every day doing things type of person.
I think she was more a woman of the people than you think.
Well,
if she had you one-on-one or in a small group setting, she could really charm you.
Yes, but talking to a crowd and this and that and the other, like,
and she was very dry.
Yeah, super.
Yeah, I mean, and that didn't always translate.
Her verbiage and all that. Like, I understood what she was doing. Like, I got it, but that doesn't translate to the west side of Baltimore. That wants somebody that's kind of a bit, loud and charismatic. And
And that's why we elected Catherine Pugh.
Yeah, the very pinnacle of charisma and stage presence.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I totally derailed this show. So please continue.
That's fine.
But there was a one run-in with her where we got into it a little bit, and that was around Paul Burns, WYPR reporter, when he got banned from press conferences and.
It was not the most transparent of administrations. I mean,
no, not at all. And that was all we were looking for. We were looking for a reason why that happened, and it was never provided. And so I kept after it and filed a Freedom of Information Act request, and we never got. There was never any formal communication between her and her security teams about why this reporter was banned or anything like that. So we wanted to try to find out why, and to this day we still don't know why. And Burns is now a reporter up in Philadelphia, I believe now, and we still don't know really what happened there.
Let's call him right now on the phone.
Sure, let's get him on the line. We're taking calls. What's the number?
I mean, good. Well, we have a voicemail line, but then we have a number we can't broadcast because it's my phone number.
If only you had a way to edit that number out in post.
Beep, 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 beep. It's 867-5309.
Oh, Jenny. So when when did you decide? And this is a weird question.
Yeah, what was the tipping point?
When did you decide that you were disillusioned? When did you decide that I'm through with this?
Disillusioned, through with this. Yeah, okay. I'll accept those.
You did
those
not
words.
go. You did not go to another market.
No, I didn't go to another market. That's not to say I'm done with TV reporting. I might get back into it eventually.
What if Denise Koch calls you on the phone tomorrow and says,
"Hey, Denise,
heir
buddy
apparent,
boy."
Heir apparent.
Well, maybe I should give out my number then.
Oh,
no, I wouldn't.
8675309.
Yeah. But what was the straw that says I'm going to try something on my own?
So this is to make this a long story short. My wife is a resident physician at Johns Hopkins, and she was going to she entered into the match day process, and there was a time there where we thought Johns Hopkins was incredibly high on the list. And there was a time there that we thought, well, maybe it's going to be up to a computer to tell us where we're moving. So we might not live here in Baltimore. I might have to start new.
Right.
And so I had this in my mind. I was kind of ready. Okay, if I move out of Baltimore, what am I going to do? Okay, I've got my master's. I can perhaps try to do this video production work I've been wanting to do. Maybe I'll apply for some teaching gigs because I'm doing that. And then we opened the envelope on match day, and the computer generator for match day said Johns Hopkins Hospital, Baltimore,
Great.
Maryland. And I'm thinking, well, that's fantastic. And then I went back to work on Monday, and I was like, oh, this feels different now.
Because you were ready to go.
I had mentally prepared myself to take on a new challenge. And that's the whole reason I went to graduate school anyway. And so I said, you know what, my contract's up another year and change. Now might be the time. Because there's not going to be a good time to start my own business. There's never going to be a good time to change careers, right?
There is not.
Yeah. There you go. You know all too well.
I do.
And so at that point on, I had fought some internal battles anyway, and I just became a little more vocal, and was kind of counting the time down to June 3rd, 2018.
Did you have a moment where you got up in the middle of the room and you said, "I have had enough"?
Yeah, did you have a Jerry Maguire?
And then Kai Jackson gave you a little squint with his left eye, and Jennifer Gilbert did it with her right eye, and they kind of both looked at you like, he's doing it.
I think the name we're looking for is Howard Beale. Did you have a Howard Beale moment?
Well, I did take all the goldfish with me when I left, but I didn't have. No, I mean, look, I had some. There were some private battles I fought, and there were some more public ones, and I left. Being able to sleep a little bit better.
Cool.
So
that always helps.
The bridge isn't burned, but you probably shouldn't talk to the guy running it for a couple of years.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. No, I mean, look, I many of my close friends are still there, and part of the reason why I was so vocal in my exit strategy, in my exit process, was I want to see it get better there for them.
Yeah.
And I know that all of their intentions are so good, and that they have incredible talent in storytelling, and I want it to be better for them.
It's good to know, I mean, at least from a person who has now departed, that like they're not over there sipping the tea, you know, of the Sinclair tea, that there is like a struggle.
Certainly not. And I would say that's the case at pretty much every station throughout the country, and that not only at Sinclair. I mean, look,
but not with Boris.
Yeah, I mean, look,
he's not part of it.
No, he's getting paid. He don't care.
Yeah,
I mean, you talk. You were the guest.
No, I mean, it's, you know, a lot of those segments have commentary written on the bottom.
Yeah.
But clearly, you know, you're an informed viewer. You know what you're being fed, right? But I think it's disappointing that he gets to interview, and I put that in air quotes, the vice president and members of Congress.
Right.
And that's a state of affairs of where we are, not only in the media landscape, but in the state of in the political world too. Look, whether it's I'm very critical of Barack Obama when he never spoke to Fox, right? And look, apples and oranges, I know, but it kind of set this tone that you're only going to talk to friendly outlets, and And look where we are now. We're dialed up to 1 million on that.
I'd say 10 trillion.
Yeah, sure.
To the point where the cable Fox News channel is state television in a lot of ways. And then when you see those like Boris Epstein commentaries, they are a little piece of state propaganda.
Fox News on local Fox. Do you ever look at Shep Smith, Paul, and be like, I feel your pain, brother. Like, I know where you're at.
He worked at the same station in Fort Myers I did. We didn't work there at the same time, but he was kind of a little bit of like a local hero among that newsroom. Like Shep Smith used to work here.
The Richard Scher of Fort
I should have said this in my shout-outs. My dry cleaner on Broadway and Pratt, hopefully your devoted listeners will now go there and take pictures of this. They only have one thing on the wall. It is a Richard Scher signed picture from February 1999, where he said, "Thank you so much. I have the cleanest raincoat in town." And
I'm the greatest, Richard Scher.
And it was a
Signed
headshot signed and WJZ letterhead, and it was blown up to poster size.
Wow.
And I hope to God that he was the one who blew it up.
He brought it to them?
That he brought it to them blown up.
Here you go, guys.
I want to believe that he was the one who brought that to them.
I saw Richard every Saturday for 3 years, and I can tell you conclusively, he absolutely did. That is exactly the kind of thing he'd do. I wonder, do you see a recovery in the...
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. For like the attitude towards news, to the attitude.
I think so. I'm not answering for him, and he will answer. But here's my opinion. I see us as a society going through a temper tantrum.
Yeah,
like an absolute temper tantrum. And I often speak about the pendulum, right? And I think other people who have political minds speak about this. Other people with degrees in politics. And that every time it swings one way, it swings a little harder to the other direction, and it is swinging exceptionally hard in one direction. And this is the fallout currently. I don't know how you walk back from it, because we don't tend to walk back from things anymore. Things just keep going forward and worse and weirder, and I don't know what melting point there is to sort of act as a reset, other than the huge fire NATO in California that's 17,000 feet tall. A severe natural disaster that all just snaps us back into nationalism mode.
No, that's what we're waiting for. The Yellowstone volcano. But yeah, Paul, how do you see what is the snapback? I think people are waiting for a smoking gun that says, this is why Trump sucks and we're getting rid of him. It's never coming, right? Yeah, right.
I thought the Cap Gazette would change some tone and rhetoric.
Sure.
And it didn't seem to, at least from his perspective. And I say that clearly Trump didn't have anything to do directly with the Cap Gazette shooting. That would be making a connection that just isn't there. But I had hoped that would change some rhetoric, and it didn't.
Maybe he just laid back for a couple of weeks on the press.
Lay off the enemy of the people talking.
Yeah, and they seem to double down this week on it.
Yeah.
Our take, perhaps just mine, maybe yours too, Brian, was that that individual always had a vendetta against the Capitol Gazette ever since they ran that
That's
piece
what it seems like,
on him. But the president's rhetoric weaponized him to the point where he's like, all right, I'm good. I'm going to go shoot everyone.
And we don't know that.
We don't. But it's obviously it's speculation.
This was the guy who was going to do it, and the timing.
The timing's a little coincidental.
The timing was right. And that's a terrible way to put it, but it's just said the confluence of events, the confluence of attitudes, and all this led to that. Right. When he calls people like Don Lemon dumb, Don Lemon might not be a great broadcaster.
He's a great broadcaster,
but he's certainly not dumb as well.
Sure.
I just when you how do you go? How do the people how do you go to work every day saying we're in trouble like we've never been in trouble before?
I don't know if you could tell. I haven't shaved in a week, so I haven't been to work in a little while.
Well, honestly, I don't want to...
You're looking rugged.
I don't want to talk shit about a guest, but it looks like you could have not shaved for months, to be honest with you.
I'm in a really bad place. Thank you for mentioning it.
Sure.
No, I look,
Brian.
It's weird. Like, we haven't dealt with any of this shit before, right?
Right.
At this level, it's so strange.
Yeah.
And to go off on LeBron and Don Lemon at like midnight on a Friday,
What? Like you don't have anything better to do, bro?
it's
like,
it's weird, man.
it's
Like,
very weird.
At best, it's weird.
yeah.
best.
At
Or
best.
At best, like
That's a
he's-
good title. At best, it's weird.
No, he's legitimately like your buddy who are like, oh, dude, don't Facebook, don't
Yeah.
don't
post
put that
that.
as
Don't
status.
post that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've already had 29. Don't have 30 beers. Not
Right.
now.
Aw.
Yeah, go home.
But I've been here for 2 days.
So what? So I mean, what are you doing now? So you left
The
Fox.
future.
Yes, we've dealt with the present. We've dealt with questions about just the mind-numbing awfulness that his 2018, 2017, 2018, the foreseeable future. What is your antidote?
Oh, my personal antidote for myself is this production company, 1812 Media. We've had a few clients so far where we are telling stories, corporate stories, or academic stories, small business stories, where we're using our journalism skills to tell people stories with video. And the hope is that we can get enough business where we can do some mini documentaries. You know, the stuff I was telling you about recently, those two stories that I just kind of thought as, those are two of my like most rewarding stories in journalism.
Oh, I love the year to the minute. I mean,
yeah, like Amy, and she's still doing it. She's not taking photos to the minute, but she's going back to the scenes and posting them at that time. So if you can follow Stains on the Sidewalk on Instagram and on Facebook, and it's a truly rewarding account. She posts information about each of the homicide victims, and to expand more on that, she was doing that in a calendar year where it was even more violent. So as she was honoring 2016 victims, 2017 was even outpacing it. So that said, she continued the project. But so we want to eventually do the stories that TV news wouldn't let us, and tell some mini documentaries and actually sink our teeth into some shit. So that's kind of the end goal on 1812 Media.
Awesome. What's the website? You have a website?
1812media.com.
That's very good.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We have all that. I just recently got back on Facebook for the sole purpose of telling all my high school friends and college friends, hey, I'm changing careers.
Yeah.
Follow us on 1812 Media.
Did you rage quit Facebook for a while?
I wouldn't say I rage quit Facebook, but I
had to quit.
I kind of had to quit, right? Like, I was becoming a little too addicted.
Oh, yeah, that's not just you. That's everyone.
And you know what? I didn't have one regret. It's kind of like one of those, like, when people ask me, hey, do you regret, like, quitting TV news? Like, no, of course not. Like, I haven't had, like, 1 ounce of regret in the past 2 months. And I didn't, like, throughout the whole time being on Facebook, I didn't have one regret. Like, oh, man, I so wish I had that game request from my third aunt.
Candy Crush.
I wish
I
I
love
had that.
8-ball pool. You know?
Yeah.
Extreme solitaire. So 1812 Media, here's my proposal. 2 things. Number 1, that photo series that you previously met. Do you know of Joe Giordano?
Yeah.
Of note?
Yeah.
You should probably talk to him. And we would love to help you with any of your projects. I don't even think we would charge you.
I would charge you for voice acting.
I wouldn't, because I need that experience.
That's silly.
Well,
Okay.
you're silly.
Do you do weddings?
We are going to dabble in weddings. 1812weddings.com is
my
not
Lord.
active yet, but we will be active pretty soon. Yeah.
If you need a guinea pig, we are getting married
April
in
2019?
April. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll keep that in
We'll
mind.
take a
That's
discount
good.
since
Okay.
you're
Do you have a
just getting
videographer yet?
started. No, we don't.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But we would never not pay people. Like, Evan might volunteer. We would never not pay people.
No, I'm not suggesting he film your wedding.
No,
for
you're
free.
busy. You're busy that weekend.
I
anyway.
I'm busy that
I hope so.
Notable videographer Evan the Mayor.
on your iPhone. I just want to say, I mean, before we wrap up the in-tray view, I'm kind of mega impressed by the whole, like, where, like, I can't do this anymore, and here I am doing this other thing. It's pretty cool. If, as the kids say, it's pretty cool, Well,
Well, I also would, if I'm going to butter your buns a little more, the concept of literally leaping out and just, you don't necessarily have a safety net, but having the engine to actually drum up, clients. And because I know that's very difficult.
It's hard. It's not easy work, yeah. And it wasn't an easy decision either.
Yeah, but being able to do it, and then once you finally get into a, like, okay, we have a portfolio, we have a track record, we have clients, we have this and that and the other, it's working. I never really got to that level of satisfaction owning my own business, so I congratulate you, sir.
Well, you should have publicly quit on Twitter and then see how things went for you. That was the way to do it.
Needless to say, that didn't get any clients for us.
No, but
so maybe this podcast might. I mean, it looks like it might get us a wedding.
At least a wedding.
Yeah.
It's just like it was the one way to fight the fight that you had, and like you took it, and you don't. I don't know. Like I feel like around the country we would have heard of others who had done this.
Well, there certainly have been others. There certainly have been others.
But either way, it's massively impressive.
I mean, I didn't go and go on the record with any NPR or CNN. There were certainly whistleblowers, so to speak. I fought the battle as best I felt I could, and now I'm talking about it on a podcast in general terms.
No, so far stars rising. I mean, incredibly. This podcast specifically. Yeah.
It's funny. I feel like we at least got a little bit of a jump on this guest because this is a story that does belong on a Dan Roderick's interview or something like that.
No, I can't wait to hear what This American Life does when they call you. I mean, it's going to be great.
Yeah, because when they listen to this show,
like,
we gotta get Paul Gessler on here.
You know what?
Ira comes back a lot. He's from Baltimore.
Ira's a Jew from Baltimore. I bet you I could find him if I needed to.
That would be quite a get.
It would. He's not coming here, but I could find him.
Sure, he could.
I at least know what he's doing in like the beginning of September.
We could go to him.
It's the beginning of September. Yeah, high holidays, man.
Yeah.
It's actually in the middle towards the end. I know because I get days off.
It's a lunar calendar. We're the worst.
You. Never mind.
The Jews.
I'm not going to say it. All right. Any closing thoughts on this matter? Because we've run out of time.
No, I've enjoyed myself greatly. Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the T-shirt.
Yeah,
it's his
and
T-shirts. The future beef jerky you're about to receive.
Ooh.
All right, but it is now time to get a little angry.
Oh, grr.
Where's Casey?
I don't know. He just never said like, "Hey, I ain't coming."
He didn't say a word.
You can't show up last week, Casey. Casey, you're gone. We're gonna
You're a new father?
He is, but now he's back on paternity leave.
But he was there last week, so where is he this week?
Where in the world is
Casey the Cochran? And
he's in Dundalk.
Yeah,
that's the answer.
He's at his house.
Taking care of his infant. All right, time to get a little venti.
Oh, 20.
Time to get a little pissed offy.
Grr.
Time to get a little. Oh, Caitlin, you got one?
Grr.
Grr. Time to get a little murderous.
Fatality.
Time to go right ahead and tell everyone to shut up.
We're going to let the band deal with this.
Total carnage!
Now is the end of the show in which we give people, places, and things that are lowering our quality of life. And, Brian, would you like to...
Deproving.
Yeah! A hearty, literal, and or proverbial shut-up. My shut-up this week is to... Oh, boy. All of the aspects of Atlanta that made it a displeasurable experience. The liquor situation, the flying, the plane overs, the weird, desolate, dead mall with the venue. What are you shaking your head about?
You better watch it, or you're going to be in my shut up.
I dare you.
I don't know why you're looking at me. I don't tell her what to do.
I know. Brian.
Oh, yeah. I try not to do this because it is the thing that I love the most, and I don't like to talk badly about the things that I love and adore. But
Take two.
Same network. Wrong show. I'd like to give a shout out to this season of The Bachelorette.
Whoa.
Becca is fine early on in the season.
Fine?
She's great. Honestly,
she's beloved.
She looks fucking fantastic in pants. I would like to, at the beginning of the season, all the news about came out. Spoiler alert: wins on Monday. Sucks.
Oh.
That was too quick of a spoiler alert, and then like you just said it. That
Yep.
wasn't like spoiler alert.
Wins. So
We're going to lose like 4 subscribers because of that.
Eat my ass.
Whoa!
They honestly, if they don't know about and if they didn't like do some Googling like months ago.
Also, the amount of people that listen to this show that also watch The Bachelorette, it's probably like 10.
I think you're underestimating that Venn diagram.
Oh, yeah. People love The Bachelorette. So, earlier in the season, all that stuff about his Instagrams sucks. Then Lincoln, about the fact that he gropes women on cruises. Sucks. Now, Leo, throwing mean things in DMs. sucks. Like, the whole thing, it's just bullshit. This season of The Bachelorette took me out of the enjoyment of the fantasy. Shut up to The Bachelorette.
All right. Caitlin bought 5,000.
My shut up is
those clowns in Washington.
to the vet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about the vet. Look, man, the vet's got me putting drops in Ronnie's ears twice a day.
And you got to rub them in there?
No. I don't do that.
We're supposed to massage him in.
I hold him by the scruff of the neck for an extra 30 seconds so he can't shake his head.
Right.
And so that way they, sink
but you're
in.
supposed to simultaneously massage in the droppy drops.
No, I just squirt him. I'm probably doing
Do it right.
I'm probably doing it wrong.
That former vet tech sitting right in front of you.
Cool. You want to come over and put drops on my cat?
You can pay me $5?
No. So, honestly, my cat loved me. I was my cat's favorite thing, and now he won't get near me. And, I know I'm doing good for him and I'm helping him, but I'm just so sad all of the time. So, shut up to the vet for, making me feel bad.
Okay, so my shut up isn't to the vet. It's to you because...
Oh, dear.
So the night before we took the cats to the vet, we're over at his dad's house, and both him and his dad are like, "Why are you taking the cats to the vet? There's nothing wrong with them. You're wasting money. Why are you taking them to the vet?" Then we go to the vet, and there's something wrong with one of them, and I'm like, "You're welcome. We saved this cat's life by taking
a
it
hunk
to the
of
vet."
black oil, like you're cleaning out a bong or a bowl.
Yeah, it was so gross.
It was disgusting, and I kind of felt bad about it. But now my cat hates me.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, shut up, Brian.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I apologize.
Wow.
Paulie G, any shut-ups?
If I could bring in full circle, just shut up to the thunder because my dog is having some issues this summer.
Extreme weather.
Thunder.
All right. Well, that has been shut-ups. The music is over. It ran its course.
Cool.
Yeah.
Shut up, music.
Yeah, I wasn't going to let it, go through another loop because I don't feel like paying the royalties. Which
Brian's finally done talking about bachelorettes, so we don't need to tell him to shut up.
I don't have to be. I can keep going.
No.
Becca was the one who...
Yeah, let's thank our sponsors again.
Oh, thank you very much for saying that. Go to bit.ly/citythatbreeds for our Amazon affiliate link. And the brand new one, bit.ly/CTB Target for our Target campaign. I do believe that it's 30% off patio furniture this week or something. I don't know.
I'll get that shit on clearance because summer's almost over.
Shit on clearance. And as always, anything on citythatbreeds.com/deals. If you have not subscribed to our podcast, I find that highly unlikely. Please subscribe to the show on Stitcher, iTunes.
Honestly, you could record it and play it for your friends. We won't be angry. I feel like if it's on your phone, you don't need to. But
Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, and probably some other stuff. I'm not entirely sure. And as always, please do join us on the CTB Fam Zone Extreme on Facebook. And if you have not liked the Facebook Prime page, as we call it, that's facebook.com/citythatbreeds and all other social media outlets. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you, Paul, for being a guest. You have been lovely.
Thank you.
A lot of fun. Of fun.
We're killing it lately, Brian.
We got a lot of good guests. A lot of good guests.
Next week, it'll be Max from the Baltimore Whiskey Company. So we will be...
Well, should we make promises we don't know if we can keep?
Well, he's been confirmed by his PR guy, so...
Oh, shit. Oh, okay. This is corporate? Then it's money.
Corporate. Yeah, it's the one PR guy that handles their accounts.
Yeah, that's corporate.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great day and a better...
tomorrow.